Watch Who?
Hello, and welcome to Watch Who, a Doctor Who podcast. I'm Mark.
I'm Sarah.
And I'm a Doctor Who fan.
And I'm new to watching Who.
Yes, you're watching these episodes for the very first time.
Yeah.
And this is a brand new season, season 4.
Woo!
Woo! We've got up to season 4.
Yeah. How do you feel, Mark? How do you feel about that?
Well, it's still my favourite thing to do. I'm still very much enjoying it. Because you don't know what's coming up next, so it's very exciting for me.
No, I don't.
Because obviously I've been a fan for a long time, so I know I'm enjoying this because I'm watching these stories in a new light, maybe a little bit more detail than I have before, because we're discussing them every week.
Yeah.
But I do know generally what's happening and what's coming up, but you know absolutely nothing about what's coming up, so that's very exciting for me.
I ain't got a clue. No.
But you are gaining knowledge as we go along.
I am, which is strange. It's not something that I expected to happen. So.
No, you can talk about Dodo, you can talk about Ian, you know
I
all
love
about
you side
Barbara.
with Dodo.
Well, she was the latest one, wasn't it, when you learned all about her STDs and stuff.
Oh my gosh.
You know, you never thought, when we sat down and watched Unearthly Child, I bet you didn't think we'd be chatting about Dodo having sex with an alien.
I never thought this early on that I'd be talking about a character having sex with an alien, getting STDs, and having, what was it, sexual deaths or something.
Yeah.
What was it? How did she die?
Sexual tragedies was
Sexual tragedies.
Was the last episode. So, we finished off very memorably with the War Machines last time.
Yes, or unmemorably for Dodo, but yes.
Dodo leaving, yeah.
Yeah.
So all change again on the TARDIS with Ben and Polly.
Yeah.
I can't remember if you were looking forward to anything particular. I think you enjoyed Ben.
Yeah.
So you were looking for, and you weren't sure about Polly. I think that's where we left it.
Yeah, I just didn't know her as a character because she hadn't done as much as Ben.
Yeah. Well, let's go straight into the story then. The Smugglers. I would say this is probably the least talked about Doctor Who story. Definitely the least talked about first Doctor story. It is way down there. Just nobody talks about it. Not like it's good or bad or anything. There's just nothing about it.
I can see why. I found this so hard. You know it. We watched this together.
Yeah.
And so we're in lockdown in Wales. We're in lockdown 2.0.
Sorry, lockdown update before we go to the Smugglers. I knew there was something else. So I think we've been in and out of lockdown, sort of a few online. So we did the Doskers online last time.
We did, yeah.
This whole podcast pretty much has been produced in a COVID world. We only did a couple of episodes before COVID started.
Yeah.
The Sensorites, when we had that pizza, that's when it all happened. And so you could probably track the whole way the government has dealt with COVID with us going in and out of lockdown, whether we're recording online or not, or in person.
Yeah. Or how we're dealing with it, I think.
Yeah.
So the only reason we did it mainly, we could have done it in person, the last one, the Doskers, but I had a poorly cat.
Yes.
So
it
was slightly different.
Yeah,
there was that as well.
So it's good to start off this season again in person.
Yeah. So in Wales, we're in lockdown, but if you're a single occupancy household, you can meet up with one other household for mental well-being. So Mark is my one household.
You've come over here to record a podcast.
Well, I don't know if it's for my mental well-being or not, because this was hard. But yeah, Mark is my mental well-being stability, I guess. So.
And I'm making you watch The Smugglers.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
But yeah, if you go back and listen to our episodes, you can track the COVID-ness, because there's a lot of us saying, we're going to be out of lockdown soon. Oh, no, we're not.
No, wait, Mark.
It's going to happen.
There's a lot of you saying that.
We both discussed it. There was both predictions.
You were convinced for ages, and I was like, we're not, Mark.
It was around the Crusade sort of time we thought we were coming out, but it didn't happen until Galaxy 4.
Yeah. But now because also, I mean, we're quite open that we record a little bit in advance.
Yeah, so again,
people might not...
by the time you hear this, anything could have happened.
Well, no, we know by the time this comes out that we will be out of the Wales lockdown.
In Wales, yeah, but I think Oh, well, who knows where you are in the world, listeners.
Yeah, who knows what you're in. But
yeah.
in Wales, by the time this comes out, we will be out of lockdown 2.0.
Well, wherever you are, log in online, find the loose cannon reconstruction of the Smugglers, and just forget about it all for a bit and enjoy the Smugglers.
Or do what I did.
Or 60s Doctor Who.
And really try and not fall asleep, because this I struggled with.
Okay, well, just before we start, just going back to this being a story that no one talks about. So I looked up the survey in Doctor Who magazine from 2013.
Right.
You know, the one where the Space Museum came out as the worst First Doctor story?
Oh, yeah.
So the Space Museum was 232 out of 241.
Yeah.
The Smugglers came out at number 194. So it came out better than The Celestial Toymaker, The Gunfighters, Planet of Giants,
What?
The Web Planet. It's just, The Keys of Marinus is just 2 above it.
No.
I thought it would be right down there, actually. I was really surprised at 194 out of 241. I mean, it's still the lower ones, but...
Do you think it's because it's the first one with Ben and Polly?
I don't think so, because I think Ben and Polly are very popular, but it's another historical one, and they're sort of I don't know if you've noticed, they've sort of been phasing them out a bit. This feels very much like, because we had the War Machines at the end of season 3, and it was very different, and the pace and the show seemed to be changing, and then suddenly season 4, we're right back to, I said it was like a Marco Polo.
Well, I said to you that every one of the new companion ones, they've gone back in time.
So you mentioned, like the Time Meddler.
Yeah.
Well, they've got to really to explain to Ben and Polly. I think the only thing in this story, Ben and Polly feel very fresh.
Yeah.
And they really hold the story together, I think. But if you took them out of it, because you haven't got Ian and Barbara to make the historical and interesting. Stephen had that in the Time Meddler, didn't he? Oh, I don't believe you, and all that kind of thing.
I realise how much I hate new companions coming and the whole spiel of the non-believing.
Yeah, look, it's a church!
So we are in our own time after all.
Yeah, you didn't really believe all that nonsense about past and future, did you?
Well, you've got to do that, haven't you? And if you're starting a new season, maybe this is the first episode you're watching of Doctor Who back in 1966.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's got to explain it, and it's got to explain it for the characters.
Yeah, it just, it reminds me how much it grates on me. It's like Stephen. But ironically, Dodo, that wasn't the case.
Well, Dodo was very quick, wasn't she? And she had that in the arc, though. She had that, I don't believe you, we're in the zoo.
Yeah.
We're not in the zoo. But it glosses over it quite quickly. You have to have those first scenes with them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But Dodo's didn't feel like Stephen's really annoyed me, as you know. I was like, oh, just get over it. Just accept, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this one kind of felt a little bit like that with Ben. Ben really was stubborn about it. Polly sort of went, she was a little bit not believing. And then she just sort of was like, no, I think this is, and just sort of went with it. Ben was really stubborn. Pretty much that whole first episode going into the second, a lot of it. It took him a while to accept what was going on.
Yeah. This is completely missing this story. We've got the telesnaps, though.
Yeah.
So we watched the loose cannon reconstruction. So I've got the CD, as usual, just the audio.
How have you done with that?
Never really got through it very well. So this was the first time I was actually seeing the telesnaps. I've seen a few photos, but a lot of it was new to me. I knew the basics of the story, but I didn't really know. I couldn't tell you who any of the characters were or anything.
Yeah.
I think it's known as Ben and Polly's first story, proper story after the War Machines, and that's about it.
Yeah.
So it follows right on from the end of the War Machines. Ben and Polly in the TARDIS.
Yeah.
And then the Doctor's like, what are you doing in here? He's a bit angry towards them. Yeah. Ben and Polly he explains to them, doesn't he? Oh, this is see that scanner? That's a scanner. A very bad sort of explanation. And then they land on the beach.
No longer checking atmosphere anymore, are we?
No,
we're no longer checking, if it's safe to go out. We're just we're here, out we go.
Well, Ben and Polly go straight out there.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to say as well. So I'm in the middle of making my Ben Sailor's hat.
Oh my gosh.
So
You're making it.
well, yeah, I need to put the writing because it's his ship on it and everything. I need to get the writing, so I'm making a Ben. I think he only wears his sailor hat in the War Machines.
Right.
But this is my next cosplay after Steven's jumper that I got. So when it's finished, I'll post a photo of my Ben Sailor's hat. I'm going to wear it now.
For me, half made up Mark.
Yeah, so I put that. Anyway.
It looks good, actually.
Yeah, it's cool.
You've done pretty well.
Yeah. Where were we? On the beach.
Yeah.
In Cornwall.
Sorry, I can't take you serious with the hat. You're going to have to lose the
take the hat
hat.
off?
Yeah, I
Oh,
can't.
okay.
That is sauce. I will just laugh this whole way every time I look at you with the hat, like, floating away with you.
Right. Cornwall.
Yeah.
Land in Cornwall. Have you been to Cornwall?
No, I don't think I have.
Have you not at all?
No.
I've been to Cornwall quite a lot.
Yeah. You'd presume I would have. But I've been on a lot of British holidays. I had like older parents. Like we were Isle of Wight regulars. Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
yeah, I've been to Isle of Wight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I went Isle of Wight quite a lot. Been a lot of UK. I've just never been to Cornwall.
So they filmed this at Nan Jezel Bay in Cornwall, but it's like past Penzance. It's like right on the tip, like, you know, like the boot of England.
Yeah.
It's like right on the edge. Like I went on the Doctor Who locations website, and the cave where they land, it's still there. Someone took a photo like a few years ago of it.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same. So that is on my list of places to go, but it's right far. I mean, I've been to Newquay.
Yeah. I think it's because the reason I can tell you this. The reason I went to Cornwall, I used to ask my parents this, and it was just that bit too far from Lancashire.
It is quite. Oh yeah, it is quite far. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like just that bit too far.
It's 15 hours from Cardiff on the train. So but it's quite far from Newquay, because I thought when I went to Newquay, I thought that was like quite at the edge, but it's like that's on the other side of the coast.
I think it was like quicker for us to go to the Isle of Wight than it was for us to go to Cornwall.
Yeah.
And that is on an island.
So when they land, and it's called the Smugglers, what are you thinking so far? Anything? Or a bit too early to work out?
It's too early.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I've accepted that they're in some other time, because that's always the case. They're not in the 60s like they think.
So the thing is, with Ben and Polly landing, if you try and apply logic, I know I'm trying to apply logic to like a sci-fi adventure. So they come out of the TARDIS. Oh, we're on a beach. They don't believe the Doctor. Well, they've moved from London to a beach, but they don't seem to acknowledge. Well, they do acknowledge it, but they don't seem to be sort of amazed by it. They're like, oh, let's get the train. Come on, Doctor, we'll talk about it on the way home. We're in Cornwall.
Yeah.
Let's get the train home and we'll chat. As if they don't believe that they've travelled in time, which they don't.
They're willing to accept that they've travelled to a different location in a phone box, but they're not willing to accept that they've travelled in time.
I know they've been on the inside of the TARDIS, but the way that they're on the beach is very like, they don't believe him, but they believe where they are. I can't explain it. It doesn't really make sense if you apply the logic to it, because they're not asking, how did we travel, Doctor? They're like, let's just get out of here. We haven't, what are you talking about? It's just a police box still. Yeah. It doesn't add up to me.
Sorry, Doctor, but we'd better find a station. We can talk on the train.
Oh, talk on the train, child.
The whole introduction for me is just annoying and weird. Like, I just find it annoying and weird. For this, it's this whole non-believing, like, and it was very blasé.
But then they get to the church and they meet the church warden.
Yeah.
And then I think they say, "Oh, we must be in the 17th century." Then then after that point, after they meet the church warden, they're a bit more into it, and then
But even then, like,
because I don't understand, because Polly's very much, "Oh, it's the beach, yay!" and she starts screaming and having a great time.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, actually, you should be fascinated about what's happened to you.
Or how you've got there.
I thought Ben and Polly would be a bit more sensible, because they're a bit more mature. Ben just wants to get back to his ship. He's like, oh, I'll miss my ship. We better get back, as if it's like this whole inconvenience that suddenly he's been in like this spaceship.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit of a strange start, but they've got to get the adventure moving, if you think about it, in terms of writing the script. They've just got to get going. And actually, talking about the script, this is the same writer as the Celestial Toymaker.
Oh.
He's not my favourite writer, Brian Hales. I'm sorry, Brian.
Sorry, Bri.
I'm not a fan of his stories. But it's nice. It would be nice if this was found to see the location.
Yeah, we said that.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
You meet the church warden. They're in the 17th century. You didn't know this was a historical until they got there.
No. You know they're not in the 60s, you just don't know where they are. I would say it's not until the end of that conversation, maybe even going into the tavern, that they accept that they're in a different time.
Yeah, I think Polly says something, we better just lump it, and here we are. The intrigue already starts, doesn't it, with this? It's a bit like Treasure Island, I thought.
Yeah, you said that.
Surely it's based on Treasure Island, because it's been a long time since I read Treasure Island. We did it at school. But isn't it that whoever is at the pub and then the old shipmates come along and try and recruit him or something like that? Did you not know Treasure Island?
No.
I think it's something like the old shipmates come along, someone knows where the treasure is, they give him like the black spot or something and say, we're coming after you.
Yeah.
And they try and reunite the crew from this previous thing where this treasure which is basically what happens in the Smugglers, the old crew coming back together trying to find the treasure. Yeah. It's very much, and Doctor Who does pirates, it's an interesting way. It's still historical though, because it's still based on Cornwall and smuggling, and that's what happened down there.
Yeah.
It is based on fact in a way. I know you.
I just found this a very dull episode. So
why was it like? Weren't you intrigued about? Surely the first episode was all right. Where they're exploring. I really like Ben's attitude in that he's quite sarcastic. I like his comments like that. It carries on from the War Machines. Yes,
but it was different there because he was in his own time. So there's no respect for the situation. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, but that's quite... Yeah, I know, but I know I said that at the beginning where they didn't really believe it, but once they're in it, they do get into it.
But it's not until the third episode.
The way the comments and stuff, they're quite...
By the third episode... Yes. Okay. When they meet the what's he called? Blake,
yeah.
Yeah. When they meet Blake, that I'm they're with it and they get that. But even with the squire, the way that they are addressing and talking to him and just that whole thing, I don't know, it's like they just don't get it. I can't
I see what you mean.
It's like they're so out of place with it, but by the time you get to with Blake, it's almost like they've got used to it, and
that's fairly realistic, though, isn't it? It's a bit like Barbara getting used to her surroundings.
Oh yeah, I know, but we did pick up on one thing: there was no music.
Yes, yeah, I looked that up. Yeah, no music. This is one of the only stories with no incidental music, so maybe that's why it was a little bit flat.
It was really flat, and it was really slow.
But then, wasn't it... So then we meet Cherub, who is the bold guy that goes and actually kills the church warden. Yeah. He's quite violent with the knife.
Oh, yeah.
That's quite...
Yeah.
It needed a bit of... But in those moments, it needed a bit of music,
It just needed... It's a lot of, creeping, and it's a lot, There's a lot of moments where you would have, suspense or... And there was just nothing.
It's difficult with the telesnaps as well.
But we've done things with telesnaps before and really enjoyed it. We cannot blame the telesnaps.
Okay.
Because we've watched them we've watched the whole way through, and even we've been like bam, 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 We cannot blame the telesnaps. It has to purely come down to story to, take you with it. And, I thought the accents were great. I thought that I'd say the acting overall was really strong in this. I just felt pace-wise, it was just really sloggy. Just their interaction with each other as well sometimes between characters. It just felt like it just lacked a little bit of something. I don't know.
It feels, like a sort of, it could have just been a Treasure Island Sunday afternoon play from a few years ago.
If you put this on as a play,
it wasn't really a Doctor Who as such. It was very...
If you put this on as a play, I'd be bored because there was no pace to it. Plays have pace. Okay, let's take out... even plays have music, but take out any, music of a scene. You need that pace. You need that sort of, you know.
It relies a lot on the dialogue as well because
Yeah.
not Avery, who am I talking about? The church warden
Yeah.
tells the Doctor this clue about the treasure, which I don't think we picked up.
No.
He does mention it to him.
Remember these words. This is dead man's secret key. Smallwood, Ringwood, Gurney.
Yeah, but what's purpose, sir?
It's a secret worth remembering.
And then that's very important for later on.
Yeah.
I think we missed it the first time
Yeah.
because it's only the Doctor that's supposed to know. And then Cherub, after he's killed the church warden, goes after them in the inn.
Yeah.
And then Close Watch, Ben and Polly get into their traditional
Yeah.
17th century thing.
Polly the boy.
Polly the boy. So it's again a few greatest hits of what we've had with Vicky and the Crusade. And
Yeah.
maybe the bit of the Reign of Terror in there, it felt like.
Yeah. Even the scene, they were... Although I thought that was quite a good one. When they're in the jail and they're trying to get out.
Well, with Ben and Polly,
Yeah.
and that's them working together. And Ben and Polly, I mean, the Doctor, William Hartnell, the Doctor, he is in this throughout. He's not on holiday.
No.
Well, he's not on location, I don't think, but he's not on holiday in the studio.
He's on the beach, definitely.
No, he's not. I don't think he is. I don't think he went there. I think it was just the back of his head and then the close-ups of studio, I think. I don't think they would have taken him to Cornwall. I'm pretty sure. I did try and look it up. I couldn't find anything, but I am pretty sure. I'm sure someone out there will tell us.
Yeah.
If he went to Cornwall or not. It's definitely a stunt when they put him in the hay bale thing.
Oh, yeah, God, that was terrible. Yeah.
That's I don't know if it's our robot doctor actor. I don't think it is. It's somebody else. But
No.
I'm pretty sure he didn't, or he went for the day on the beach, maybe. I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm not sure if those telly
He's
snaps.
supposed to go through caves and stuff.
I think that's studio because it's wooden floor in the cage.
Yeah, we hear
but
that.
I'm pretty sure William Hartnell didn't tell us, people. Also, I meant to say at the beginning of this podcast, obviously I'm a fan and have read things, but don't take anything I say as exactly fact. Please let me know if I'm wrong. This isn't a factual podcast on Doctor Who. This is a fan's perspective and a non-fan, so don't take... Oh, I haven't said that for a while. I think most of what I say is factual, though.
I take it as factual.
You take it as factual, yeah.
I know, no.
But I am careful the facts that I say, but...
I sometimes quiz you, like, but what about this, man?
But I would say that William Hartnell didn't go on location.
Yeah.
I can't remember what I was saying now. Oh, yeah. But Ben and Polly in the prison, they already have scenes on their own and they're leading it. They're not... You don't actually... the Doctor's fairly backgroundish. It's Ben and Polly doing a lot of the dialogue and the discovering with the audience. The Doctor is all, they've been left to do a bit of a Stephen and take over.
It's got great energy, that scene. I'll give it that.
Daft nit. What does he think it was, magic?
Ben, that's it.
Aye, what is?
In the 17th century, they were terribly superstitious. They still believed in witches.
So what are you going to do, fly out of here on a broomstick?
No, but I think I've got a plan.
But it was really annoying as well, wasn't it? I mean, it's...
No, it was good because they're working it out and Polly's like, oh, there's rats, and she's having a bit of,
No, not that.
Fun.
I'm talking about when they get when they're trying to trick the guy into getting them free.
Tom, the jailer.
Yeah. Like, it was just a bit cringy, but it was good. But it was at least some different energy.
Yeah, but it is because Polly's like, oh, hang on a second, they were very superstitious in the 17th century. And
so,
that's
actually, like I said, it was just cringy, but I enjoyed the change of energy.
Yeah.
And actually, there's scenes like with Blake and stuff.
They bring the energy to the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
because they've got the humour there as well, which I really like that. I didn't notice that before. And I didn't realise, like Ben especially, I didn't realise his humour before. And in the War Machines as well, it's sort of the sarky comments and stuff. I really like that.
He's like, he's supposed to be like that sort of like East End lad, isn't he?
Yeah, and then Polly is a great sort of duo with him in that.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to watch scenes of them, and then you don't really, and the Doctor...
They're kind of like...
Because the Doctor's away on the ship. He leaves them to it for a bit.
They're very much like a young Ian and Barbara.
Ooh. I don't know. You see, actually, right, Ian and Barbara, we got them from 1963. They're these older school teachers.
Yeah.
But we're in 1966 now with Ben and Polly, and Ben and Polly make Ian and Barbara look like a throwback from the 50s. They're actually, Ian and Barbara are not 60s, they're 50s companions.
Yeah. But, I mean, like, a younger... I can imagine...
Yeah, I suppose so.
If it was the 60s...
A bit more knowledgeable, both of them.
Like, if it was the 60s,
yeah.
like...
If they were younger in the 60s.
Yes.
Yeah, because Ian
like,
and Barbara, that's what I'm saying.
As teenagers.
They were younger in the 50s more. Yeah.
I can imagine them as their teenage selves of that period. Do you know what I mean?
But I think that goes back to what we said in the War Machines. They've got the companions sort of just about right now. With the ages, they've gone up and down a little bit throughout who we've had. And these are the product of all the companions before them.
I can imagine Ian being... Because obviously, like, Ben's a fighter, Ian's a fighter. I can imagine Ian being a little bit cheeky as a teenager.
Because in the pub...
Not a teenager.
When Cherub comes up to the doctor in the pub, Ben's like, "Oi, you leave him alone."
Yeah.
Get out of the pub.
Ian's very much like that. And Polly, she's not, from what... I mean, actually, I really like Polly in this episode. This is what I was after. Like,
I thought you were going to get annoyed with Polly because she's a little bit whiny, a little bit,
no,
I think.
I don't think she's that bad. She brings something to it. She's not like... a Susan that just cries and moans. She's not like Vicky that doesn't do anything for 3 episodes. She's not like Dodo that's just like brash right in there, but she contributes quite a lot. And she's not like Barbara in that Barbara was just too out of it for too long.
I can see Barbara having the idea about doing the witchcrafty thing, but Ben and Polly pull it off in a more entertaining way. Yeah, I think
she's kind of like, she's sensible. I think she's a sensible one of the two in the way that Barbara was quite sensible, but she's not like boring sensible. She's obviously like she's willing to have like, you know, a bit of a laugh and stuff. Yeah. But she's the sensible one of the two of them. Do you know what I mean? Like Ben is very much like I say, the East End lad sort of thing.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what, like, going into this, I said, like, I just don't know what she's about. I mean, she was hypnotised by a freaking war machine the last time. You had no idea. She was in a pub and then she was hypnotised by a war machine. Like, you didn't really know her. So this was the first time that you actually get to know. I mean, like, she's fine that they're all like, she's a boy. She's not, like, getting stubborn about it. She's just like, oh, they should keep calling me a boy. Like, she just rolls with it and that's fine. That works.
Yeah.
I can imagine... So in my head, that is how I could imagine Barbara, if it had been the 60s, her age being.
Yeah. And then Ben gets knocked out.
Yeah, of course. Because what's an episode without, like, your hero getting knocked out?
Ben gets knocked out. The doctor he must get knocked out because they've got him over the shoulder.
Oh, yeah.
And they put him in that thing and put hay on. I hope he hasn't got any allergies. They put a load of hay on him.
I'm pretty sure that isn't even a body. I think that's like a dummy.
That is a stunt man.
Are you sure?
No, it is. That's a stunt man.
It's so floppy. It looks like a dummy.
But they just put the flag just on his head. So in the reconstruction, we've got some behind-the-scenes footage that exists actually in colour that somebody filmed when they were on location.
So
Out of all the
funny.
missing stories, it's so random. So, and also we've got the moving sensor clips, Australian sensor clips. So these came back. I remember when these came back in the 90s.
Yeah.
So it was really strange watching because I've seen it's seconds. It's someone stabbing, someone screaming, someone going like it's like seconds, isn't it? Not very much. All I've seen is the compilation of that.
Of people being stabbed.
It's like
I beg thee, no!
So it was weird to see it actually in context at the beginning and the end. I'm like, oh, actually, okay, that makes sense now because all I see is just these horrific seconds. So actually seeing it there, I was like, oh, that makes sense because I didn't know what they were from.
Yeah.
I didn't know which episodes they were from or what scene.
Yeah.
So that was nice when actually it did move. But you see these, you know, the squire on his horse. It looks like someone's holiday. It is someone's holiday footage basically, and he's smiling, obviously not in character, but they put it in the reconstruction to liven it up a little bit. It's quite funny though, isn't it?
Should we talk about the squire?
Well, the squire. So maybe this shows how slightly bored we might have been because we started talking about everyone's hair Everyone's wig. That was the main. That was the main topic of the conversation that we were discussing when we watched.
Yeah.
Because the squire's hair is. Well, I said it was like someone's borrowed a wig from Top of the Pops and curled it a bit and put it on this squire.
They've got like the 60s long hair,
which I know it's supposed to be like that, but it just seems a bit too much. And the telesnaps, you go from one telesnap to another, and depending on sort of the angle, the curls are slightly.
Whenever he's laughing and looking down, he just looks like a woman, doesn't he? Well, he does. He's got like this sort of like. He's got this lovely smile.
There's this one telesnap because he's quite in the distance, so you see more hair than the rest of him.
Yeah.
And the smile, you just see a hair and a smile.
And it's a lovely smile, isn't it?
Like
it's
a jolly woman.
It's like this jolly woman laughing. It's a lovely smile, but with the wig as well, it's a very feminine look. And then you couldn't unsee it after I said that.
Once you said that, I did laugh quite a lot every time the squire was sort of in the background because the telesnaps are quite grainy, so you just see hair on a sort of blank face in the background.
Yeah,
it's with the curls and stuff, it would be on like an 80s. Pops, I don't know, like a Bonnie Tyler or something.
I mean, it was what you would have at the picture. Like we talked about it. We were like,
they are trying to be historical. They would have those sort of squire wigs.
If you were like, of nobility, you would have that.
It would be like that, but it's just a bit too much. I
think of like when I think of Captain Hook.
Captain Hook.
Thomas Cook I had in my head then. That's the holiday.
Thomas Cook. Holidays to Cornwall.
Captain Hook. He always has the black long curly wig. Because it's of that sort of style. It's the nobility. It's the... So, yeah.
Well, you do have Captain Hook in this, don't you? Because what's his name? What's the name of the captain?
Well, Avery. Oh, no, that's the treasure.
Pike. We have Captain Pike, and he is Captain Hook, basically.
Yeah. He just doesn't have a wig.
Yeah. Well, no, he has got quite a bit. It's not as big as Captain Hook, but it is. He's got a wig. Yeah. I don't know. It's just something about the squires.
The squires.
Costume. And there was another telesnap in episode 4. He's in the background in the cavern, and I was like, his trousers are really high. There's like trousers and wig and face, but there's no neck or body. It was just a really strange.
The costume he just did not look comfortable in his costume. No. I think that was it. Yeah. He just didn't look like he owned it. And the wig, because everyone else is like, in whatever.
He stands out. Yeah, he's very different to everyone else.
So much.
Yeah,
and he just didn't look like he own that costume. I don't know whether it fit properly, like maybe the sleeves were too long or the short. I don't know. It just didn't look like he was comfortable in that costume.
Poor Squire. He was a great character though, actually.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and he acted it fine. There was nothing against that.
It was just the wig.
Well, the wig didn't help, but he just never looked really comfortable in it. And then as soon as I mentioned it, he looked like a jolly woman in the back laughing.
Every time I was just looking at the curls on the wig and just seeing how
the minute I
said
that looks like a jolly woman in the back there, you were gone.
I'm sorry. Oh,
you were gone.
Yeah. Because actually you didn't know whose side he was on for a bit.
No.
I like that intrigue because I was thinking, you think he's working with Pike? Well, because you've got Cooper. Oh, Cooper. Let's talk about Cooper the innkeeper.
His wig.
Well, there's his wig, but Cooper, I just kept thinking of Cooper from like Mario.
Oh, yeah.
Is it Mario Kart or something?
Yeah,
isn't there a Cooper?
The turtle.
The turtle Cooper.
Yeah.
Every time they said Cooper, I was like... Imagine Mario Kart, but they're like based on episodes of Doctor Who.
No.
Imagine like the Smugglers... Cooper's Smugglers Mario Kart round where you're on the beach and you've got to get the treasure and then you've got like a cherub. No. You're fine. Okay, let's forget about that.
Nothing. I want nothing after this episode. I want nothing additional to it.
Okay, no more Smugglers after this.
No more Smugglers after this.
Cherub was a good character, I thought.
Yeah, he was like, they were all good characters.
And Pike, well... Yeah.
I've nothing bad to say about the acting. I've nothing bad to say about the characters. It just... Look, the Squire sums it up, I think. The Squire sums it up. It was just a little bit awkward. There's a whole story in episode.
Well, there's a lot of characters because then you've got Blake that turns up. Blake, I
You got Jamaica.
Jamaica, yeah, who gets killed. Lots of
And
people
what
get
was the
killed.
Spanish one? What was he called?
Oh, there was like that Spanish, like that
Espanol or something.
Yeah,
Like they're terrible names.
Hang on, let me see. Yeah, the names were a bit.
Oh, they were awful.
Jamaica. Spaniard.
Spaniard. Like, all really clever and inventive names.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Well, it's the genre.
yeah.
Let's do a treasure island.
yeah,
Bit
completely.
historical. It's got all the iconography of a treasure island.
Yeah,
story.
yeah. And it's
With-
got, like, the Doctor trying to be
And
clever
the
to get out of a
Doctor's
situation.
Obviously goes onto
and-
the captain's ship. But I thought Blake was all right because Blake's on and helps Ben and Polly out. I liked Ben actually tying up Blake
Yeah.
and interrogating him only in episode 2.
I'll
And
be
you're
honest.
All right, Ben's in the
I thought
stride.
Blake was a bit of a wet character.
I felt like he belonged in the Reign of Terror, like one of the friends.
Yeah.
Do you know what I can't remember his name now. The ones that looked after Barbara and Susan, and like the good ones.
Yeah.
That worked with them. He felt like that.
But I thought he was just a little bit wet.
I don't know. I thought.
I don't know. Maybe it was just me. I think because the other ones were such strong characters.
But you know what? Pike, although he was the Captain Hook, he didn't really do as much. He wasn't like the big villain that you might expect in a Treasure Island or something like that. It was more Cherub.
Yeah, you didn't really fear him.
Who was I suppose Cherub is I want to say Long John Silver, but
I don't know what Cherub was.
I think Cherub, yeah. Oh, and also, can I just say, in terms of Treasure Island, I know Muppets Treasure Island probably better than the actual thing. But also, if you want to watch a Treasure Island adaptation, Disney's Treasure Planet is actually really good. There we go.
Okay.
That's they're my two Treasure Island.
Muppets
or the Disney version, Treasure Planet, which is a space
version.
one.
So in other words, nothing at sea properly.
Oh, well, Muppet Treasure Island is fairly
Okay. Nothing traditional.
on the book. Is fairly on the book.
They usually are.
I think the Muppets version is more on the book than obviously the Smugglers.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, like Christmas
it's not-
Carol is as well,
Yeah,
isn't it? So, yeah.
I think Cherub is the standout character for me. Oh, and the Squire, obviously.
Yeah, I think Cherub's great. Like, you are genuinely...
And they all get killed, don't they? Because Cherub gets killed at the end. There's
Yeah,
that big
everyone's
fight at the
dead.
end. I know we've sort of skipped to the end already of this.
Good.
I liked, though, the working out of where the treasure was with those names
Mm-hmm.
and the tombstones and everything. I liked that.
I liked it, but...
I feel like maybe it didn't stretch across the 4 episodes enough. There
It was a classic... The Doctor just knows it and, like, just says it. I don't know. There was, like you say, there was
actually,
nothing to, like...
What does the Doctor do?
Yeah.
This?
What is he told to know that is the... Like, he literally goes onto that boat and is like, yeah, I know. Like, what is
I think
he...
Belle and Polly are in the graveyard and they work it out.
They work
see
part of it
some
out.
Part of it out. The Doctor goes over to the ship. I got a bit confused, like what he was sort of negotiating and what, because it's him and Cooper.
Yeah.
On the ship, and then they go back, and then the Squire, and then the Pike goes to meet the Squire, and then you find out that the Squire's in on it. Meanwhile, you've got Blake telling Ben that he's trying to work out the smuggling plot, and you've got this convenient passage that goes from the crypt right to where the TARDIS is.
Yeah, of course.
And then in episode 4, there was about 15 minutes where I was like, right, it's finished now. That's the end. And then it went on a little bit more, and then something else happened, and Blake wasn't there yet. Then went on a little bit more.
Blake getting
And
there
then
just went on
it felt
and
like
on.
it could wrap up in episode 3 already.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. A sort of mixture of historical and not enough happening.
For something that, like, is very action-based, and it is. I mean, there's a lot of fights in this. There's a lot of, like, suspicion and, like, those sorts of jumpy It was very slow-paced. It was just so slow.
I think the reliance on dialogue is definite, and not music, not enough action.
But when you add the action, it went on and on and on. And I guess maybe if you could watch it, it might be different. But I don't think that'd change anything.
No one's asking for this to be animated.
No.
I think there's nothing there that's a big enough draw for people to be like, oh, I want that one animated. Nobody talks about it, and that's probably what sums it up.
Yeah.
Like,
It's just a bit... Like I said, it got better.
It could have been, actually, this is probably one that would benefit from the Doctor being written out and Ben and Polly doing even more and getting more involved.
Yeah.
And taking over a bit more, because actually it was equal enough, but there wasn't any...
It's an example, though, of where we're already at a point where they are not with the Doctor. And we had this last season, straight away. Vicky, this new companion, was with the Doctor for like 3 episodes, sort of learning, Now, the wouldn't it have been great to some extent if one of them was with the Doctor and you sort of like, they sort of learn about this sort of how it all works with the Doctor, learn about how like...
Yeah, they have some nice scenes in the pub at the beginning, I think, together.
He gets knocked out within like 5 minutes.
And then the Doctor, it's not really clear how they... One minute the Doctor's there and the next he's being put on the hay.
But all that happens is the Doctor basically just leads it and they're just sort of presumed to like shut up and go with it. Because every time they try and speak, they're shut up by people. Then he gets knocked out and then, that's it. He's off. And I just think, wouldn't it have been... Like, for example, wouldn't it have been nice if like Ben and the Doctor... I'm using this example, were like taken onto the ship. Ben, and that's how Ben, who maybe was the more like, questioning of the two, that's how he sort of is learning how it all works. Like, what's going on now? And the Doctor's almost like teaching him through him. And Polly maybe then by herself, who's, a little bit more open to what's happening, she can then try and work things out in a different way. That might have been a bit more interesting rather than just... But it's a classic situation of like, we just leave the Doctor to it and we leave these 2 people to it and that's that. And that works when it was Stephen and the Doctor because you wanted those 2 different lines sometimes. Did it work? It didn't.
Well, and then it all sort of ends, everyone's in the crypt and has a bit of a fight and then one by one they all die and the Squire's tied up.
Yeah.
And then he gets stabbed, but he survives. Cherub gets killed. And then Ben and Polly have to run up down the cave studio and all we can hear is a clomp, clomp, clomp on the wooden floor.
Yeah.
And then they get back in the TARDIS and...
Off they go,
yeah.
I don't know. I
didn't think you would like this one.
No, and I didn't.
I wasn't expecting you to enjoy it.
No, and I didn't. I feel like I know Polly more now, which is really nice.
Yeah.
And I still like Ben.
Yeah.
So, like, in terms of... I think that's great.
You're enjoying them and you're looking forward to seeing them, what happens with them.
I feel like now
great.
I know them. Whereas, like, with Stephen, it took ages,
Yeah, that's good.
So that's good. But in terms of this story, it was just really... It was really hard and nothing happened. And it was dull and it didn't have any pace. And the lack of music didn't help.
No. Okay.
That's all I got.
Okay. Well, then, I don't really have anything else to say about this one. But I do encourage people to track it down and give it another go. Let's get the Smugglers a bit more attention.
Sure. If you want to get to know Ben and Polly, then watch
it's
this.
a good one for Ben and Polly. If you're a Ben and Polly fan, then give the Smugglers a go, just for them.
Yeah.
And the Squire's hair.
And the Squire's hair. Yeah. Oh my gosh, bless.
Do you know what I was going to say as well?
Go on.
After now we just sort of finished that story. I was going to do this at the beginning of the podcast again. I've just remembered, and it doesn't really fit anywhere. So I'm just going to say it now because I said it a few. I found Tom on Facebook.
No.
My friend Tom.
You found him eventually.
Him on Facebook. Yeah, so I haven't added him yet.
But you found him.
It's nearly all on private, but he is there. I have found him.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
How
so
does
I
that
wanted
feel?
to announce that. Maybe I'll get in touch. I don't know.
Do you think, like, he might listen to you? He might listen to this, and so he's put his thing as private?
I don't know. I couldn't see any Doctor Who related content on there. Like, I haven't spoken to him since 1997, so... But also, I just wanted to say last time, I think in the War Machines, I did say about Katrina. So I thought I might share the Katrina story on this episode, just to let you know.
I thought we agreed that we were, like, we agreed when we spoke, Mark, before this, that those chats were stopping.
Oh, no, I thought I was going to share because it's about
Okay,
it
go
might
on.
be interesting.
Go on, you go.
Well,
This is it then.
okay, no.
Then we
as
stop
it's relevant,
Katrina.
So Katrina, she was in primary school.
Oh, no, wait. No, I'm mixing
You're
up
getting
Katerina.
Katerina. No, yeah, I'm not talking about Katerina.
Oh,
This is
thank God for
Katrina.
that. Yes, that's fine.
So, because it's not like I talk about primary school that much, but when we talk about Doctor Who, because I was a child discovering Doctor Who,
Yeah.
it sort of brings the memories
Katrina's
back.
fine.
Katrina.
I
I'm
was
not talking
mixing
about
up Katerina.
No, you brought up Katerina.
I
not
know,
me.
because I called her Katrina. That's why.
So this is real life Katrina. So Katrina is friends with me on Facebook, but I haven't spoken to her since 1996. So
96?
yeah. So I might message her. I don't know. See what you think. So she was in my class at school.
Yeah.
And she knew I liked Doctor Who. And you sort of make friends with people in your class for like it doesn't. I don't know, you sort of go around friends sometimes, don't you?
Yeah.
And so I was friends with Katrina for a bit. I don't know, I think I went around her house once.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, my dad worked on Doctor Who. And I was like, okay, tell me more, Katrina. Anyway, all I remember is that it was, I don't think it was like a credited part, but his job was to drop rocks on the Daleks.
No.
So that's all I know. And his name isn't on any credits or anything. And I might get in touch and just ask, because I can't think, we haven't had any stories where rocks have dropped on Daleks yet. But I'm just thinking, what if it was like a Daleks Master Plan episode and he knows something more about it, or a missing one. I don't know. I don't know when it was, 60s, 70s. I don't know.
Was it in the film?
Oh, it could have been the film. There you go. I don't know.
We've never done the film.
I don't know. If anyone can tell me which episodes rocks drop on the Daleks. There's one Planet of the Daleks where there's rocks drop on them. That's a 70s one. But I'm trying to think. I don't think that's happened in any stories that we've seen so far. But if I can track down the story, or should I just Facebook Katrina and just say hi? Obviously she's accepted my friend request. I've never spoken to her, but maybe I should message her and be like, is there any other information? It might be a new.
I mean, maybe have a bit more of a
out.
conversation before that. But
no, I'll just say hi. How are you? Do you? Obviously, I've not spoken to you all this time. But in primary school, I remember you telling me this.
Yeah.
Is there any other information?
Why not?
Do you think I should do it and then
go for it
and then see if she
worst
gets
case
back,
scenario?
And then I can let everyone know.
Worst case scenario.
Because worst case, she'll be like, won't get back to me, or be like, no, sorry. The best case, he's like, yeah, he worked on the Daleks Master Plan. He's got this episode. You never know.
Yeah.
And he's shall I give it a go?
Give it a go. I encourage it.
Okay, everyone. I will let you know in maybe a couple of episodes' time, or next time, if I get anywhere.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Very exciting. I mean, nothing might come of it, but something might come of it.
Oh, what if he's like, yeah, I did work on Daleks Master Plan. I remember Katerina, and then I named my daughter Katrina after Katerina. No.
Okay. Mark, you don't get too excited, love. But yes.
Okay, cool. There we go. Well, I thought I'd share that story.
Yeah.
And then at the end of The Smugglers, it's a very quick going into the next story, isn't it? Because because they land and they're like, oh, it's really, really cold. And he's like, it's the coldest place on Earth or something.
Or in the universe or something.
Yeah, something like that. And then the next story is called The 10th Planet. And
it's
quite funny because it came up on the captions, next story, 10th Planet, and you were like, 1, 2, 3, counting through the planets. You were like, my very early blah, 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 or whatever. What was your one? Because
what's yours?
Oh, see, it's more difficult learning that than the planets. It was my very early morning jam sandwich something.
What?
I can't remember. Very early morning jam sandwich. Mars, Venus, Earth, Jupiter, Saturn. I don't even know. I can't remember.
We had a task in school where we had to make up our own.
Yeah, that's what we did.
Yeah, so mine is, my very evil mother just stabbed Uncle Norman's penis.
What age were you when you made that up?
Year 8.
Oh, right, okay. I did it in primary school. Obviously, Katrina was in my class at the time.
So we did primary school one. I can't remember what that was.
That's all,
my very easy...
Yeah,
my very easy method for it's something like that, isn't it? I don't remember. All I remember now is my very evil mother just stabbed Uncle Norman's penis, and Mercury, Venus, Earth.
Mars.
My very early mother.
Jupiter.
Saturn. Uranus. But it's not called Uranus anymore, is
My
it?
very early morning jam sandwich is usually,
Neptune. Pluto.
No, NP. My very early morning jam sandwich. I don't know what happens to my very early morning jam sandwiches. There was an elephant's one as well that I can't remember. Anyway,
Yeah.
I'll ask Katrina if she remembers. So there's 9 planets, and this is the 10th planet coming up then.
And I
There
said
we
to you,
are,
I was
so there's
like,
a clue.
would they have known Pluto then?
Oh, they had Pluto. Yeah. Yeah.
When was Pluto?
No, they must have had Pluto
When
by
was
then.
Pluto?
66. I mean, we've not been on...
I don't know when Pluto. I'm going to look it up. When was Pluto discovered?
They would have known... No, because they've called it the 10th planet especially, haven't they?
Well, you'd think so.
Yeah, because there's already 9 planets. I think that's the intrigue.
18th of February, 1930. So,
Okay,
yeah.
fine. Yeah, so they know. So this is the 10th planet. Here we
Yeah.
are. What are you thinking?
So I've just realised, if Pluto isn't a planet, then it's my very evil mother just stabbed Uncle Norman.
Oh, that still works. You don't need a penis.
No, exactly. So,
I will try and work out what these jam sandwiches are for as well. So
cool.
Great. Okay, well, thanks for listening, everyone. Give the Smugglers a go. But if you don't want to give that a go, we will see you next week for the 10th planet. So the 10th planet, 4 episodes,
Yeah.
3 exist and 1 doesn't.
A lot of 4-episode pattern now.
Yeah, the longer one, we haven't got any longer one. Oh, well, actually, no. We've got some 6.
Okay.
We're either 4 or 6 generally, I
Okay.
think, now.
Yeah.
So nothing too strenuous as we go into season 4.
Yeah.
And actually, I think this whole season, I think it's less stories. Yeah, there's more 6. There's not so many stories, I don't think.
Okay.
I think we're a little bit shorter now.
Okay.
So, how exciting. Well, we'll see you next time then for the 10th planet. And you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at To Watch Who. I'll post my Ben outfit when I finished it. I was looking, I wasn't going to get the full thing. 1960s vintage sailor outfits are quite expensive.
Oh, yeah, of course they are,
I'm going
yeah.
to definitely do the hat, and maybe I've got like a t-shirt thing as well. So
You just need a t-shirt.
yeah, so there we go. I'll wear that next time we record.
I'm not going to be able to take you
And
seriously.
yeah, we'll give you some updates hopefully next time as well. So we'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.
To Watch Who.
Eh? Doctor Who? What's he talking about?